I call the YouTube channel Jenny's Garage, but life takes some twists and turns sometimes. I don't have a garage anymore. My family and I relocated last week, and what you see here is the entirety of my work area. In this move, we've lost some living space, but we've gained some mental clarity, a serene setting, and a lot of really cool trails for my boy to learn to ride a motorcycle on. But he can't do that on this machine. Hopefully, I've got enough tools and all of the necessary components to get this put back together. So let's see what we can do out here on the back porch today. I've laid down this rubber mat because if you look through here, if a nut or a bolt were to fall between these planks, it's goodbye forever. I've got the frame. I think the last thing I took off when we dismantled this was the motor, so it makes sense that that will be the first thing to put back in. So as I recall, this guy just kind of goes up into here. I'm going to be pretty quick with the reassembly process. You guys have seen me take this motorcycle apart, put it back together a few times already. So I'll spare you all of the intricate details this time. I just got started. I already can't find the motor mount bolt. Aye, matey, but I have found me blunderbuss. Ahoy ye! Walk the plank. Hi, there she be, buried treasure. I've got the drive shaft and one of the shock absorbers installed, and it's already starting to resemble a motorcycle. Maybe we can do this after all out here in the woods. Right now I've got some light oil in this homemade funnel up here, and I'm working this rear brake cable back and forth to try to loosen it up. Way back in the first video I talked about the sticky rear brake cable, so I'll try to remedy that right now. I'm not worried about this paper. This is just a DMV survey form that I got when I paid my fees for the WR250F. I don't think they really want to know what I think. The next thing to go on should be the center stand, so it won't keep falling over. I'll try to flip the carburetor and oil injection pump down here now while there's still some room to work. I'm not cheating and going back to look at the previous videos to see how this came apart and then just reverse the order. I'm doing this all off the cufflink. My $40 swap meet parts investment is paying some nice little dividends. I found an upper oil pump cover, which I didn't have before in the box, and I also found a replacement for this worn out screw that secures the airbox to the frame. Next thing I want to do is install the rear wheel along with the right side of the swing arm. There, the rear end is reassembled. Next parts to go on are the exhaust pipe, the gas tank, and the Kickstarter. Okay, all of the necessary components are in place to check our work, see if the engine runs, and see if I'm a complete dunce for putting together all these secondhand parts to try to make something operable, or if I've got a viable little machine that my son can ride for a few seasons. I'm actually thinking it's probably the latter. Reason is because you might know that sometimes the galaxy conspires for or against you. And in addition to that, sometimes you catch a little hint as to whether the team's working for you or against you. When I was trying to put this muffler on, the little clamp that goes right here went sailing into the forest when I was trying to manipulate it. I thought that it would be sleeping with the trees from now on. However, come here with me. We'll just take a walk right around here without slipping and falling. And this is 100% honest. What's this, my friends?
Did you find it?
100%. Right here. Truly, it went springing from the motorcycle into the forest.
Wait, are you telling me that it just went sailing right out there?
It went sailing.
Sailing right out there.
Sailing right out there.
Wow.
I'll meet you back up there in a moment. I had written this clamp off. I had already bolted on the muffler and everything.
How did you know where it was?
I was working with it here, and I heard the boing, and I glanced down there, and the only indication I had as to where this thing landed, watch out, I'll drop it again, was that I saw movement in the leaves of that bush down there. That's it. So I knew it had to be somewhere in the vicinity of that bush. That's it.
That's an exciting story.
You know, I like to keep good content in these videos. Content is important. That's the meat. But you need to have a little cheese too, right? There.
That was anticlimactic.
Are you talking about my life again? I'll just install this stay bolt. Okay, I know I got lucky once, but you really shouldn't leave the camera right here on the ledge. Now, we're ready to see if this engine will start, if it will run, and if I need to adjust the audio to mute all of the knocking and rocking and pinging and tinging that might ensue. I wouldn't do that to you guys. Before we bring it through the grand threshold into the open air and try to start it, the last step is to add some oil to the transmission. The last time I did that, I tried to weigh the oil because I need 300 cc's, but there's no way to measure it. There's no dipstick and there's no level bolt to unscrew either. Turns out a Coke can is 355 ml. mLs and cc's are the same thing. I'll cut off the top of this can, and if 355 mLs is about right here, I'll fill it up to about there with oil, pour it into the case, and call it good. I need to be careful cutting this sharp aluminum. On topic. At least it won't be 17 minutes like the last video.
It's not done yet.
Okay, approximately 300 cc's of oil are deposited into the transmission. I'll put the cap back on here. As a matter of fact, just to show you how confident I am in this rebuild, I will break out a brand new oil cap that I bought some months ago. This. The original one is broken off. I bought a brand new one from the parts house. I should have waited until I got the swap meet box because there's one in there as well. That's why it's handy to have extra parts. We'll put this in here. What do you say?
Let's bring it around front.
See if we can make something happen. Don't tell the landlady I'm bringing motorcycles through the living room. Trail 90's on site. All right, moment of determination. There's a little two-stroke smoke in the air. Full disclosure, I may have done a little bit of tuning between takes. The big questions here are not only does the engine run, but is it healthy enough to be consistently operated by a 5-year-old without daddy intervention? Would you like to try it?
Yes.
Put the switch on start. That's it. The grand first start of the PW50 with all the hobble-gobbled together parts that we put together. If you listen to the engine run at idle, you can hear a little bit of pinging, a little bit of engine noise. That's piston slap because the piston is a little bit smaller than the cylinder and it rattles around there a little bit at low speeds. But based on all of the PW50s I've heard run both in person and on YouTube, this one sounds pretty good. Son, can you turn it off now? I really wanted to finish up the series with this 10th F. What did you just say about that last camera angle?
It just wasn't the most flattering.
Did it accentuate my glossy scalp?
Oh, maybe just a bit.
I really wanted to finish up this video series with the 10th episode, but time has run a little bit long, and there's a few things that I still want to do, and I think it would justify a final 11th installment. We'll get going on that, and hopefully at the end of the next video we'll see the back of Junior's helmet riding off into the sunset. Along with my male pattern baldness, perhaps. Thanks for watching.